Well, I've got green fever just like everyone else. I love green. I eat broccoli and own frogs and dream of leprechauns. It's the coolest!
What makes you feel the need to pretend to have green fever?
Well, it's totally real. Just because I'm different.
I can see the magic marker in your pocket.
I only meant to fit in.
Well, why don't we focus on ways that you can actually get green fever? Like wanting hands-on experience or wanting a degree from UVU that will actually help you in the real world.
I know I shouldn't try so hard to be like everyone else. I just gotta go about it the right way and really learn more about what Utah Valley University can do for me.
Wow. I think Beverly's made some real progress today. We should give Beverly a hand.
Utah Valley University. Your life, your beat, your university.
Tonight, it's an in-state battle as the Wolverines of Utah Valley entertain the Aggies from Utah State. The Aggies have never lost to the Wolverines, but it's Utah Valley who's never lost at home this season. It's all coming up next, right here on UVU TV. Welcome to the UCCU Center on the campus of Utah Valley University. Tonight, the Wolverines, undefeated at home, taking on the Aggies, who are pretty darn good themselves, 5-1. Hello again, everybody. I'm Jim McCullough, along with Matt Peterson. It's an in-state rivalry, Utah Valley, Utah State. Do you call this a rivalry yet, though, when one team has won all 7 meetings?
Well, I think you can in terms of at least they play each other once a year or twice a year in some instances, but not necessarily in terms of wins and losses. USU 7-0 versus the Wolverines. You know, it's got to end sometime for the Wolverines, and I know that they've prepared for that to end tonight, and it makes for a very interesting game.
Neither one of these teams has lost on Saturday, so something's going to give tonight. And you got the WAC thing going on. Utah State's currently in the WAC, UVU going into the WAC. Something to prove tonight for either one?
I think so. I think it's something to prove for both teams. You know, the Aggies have had great success in the WAC over the years. The Wolverines are going to be very excited to be going to the WAC. It's an improvement for both teams, and I think that both teams are going to want to come out tonight and prove that, you know, they're the better team, and it's going to be fun to see.
It will be fun to see, I think. All right, tell us a couple of players, one for each team, Matt, that you're looking for tonight to have a big game.
Yeah, and we focus on, for the Aggies tonight, we're going to be looking at Jared Shaw, shooting almost 60% from the field on the year, 14.7 points per game, and 9.8 rebounds per game. So he's going to be a big-time force inside for the Aggies, who have typically had very good interior play throughout the years that they've been playing the Wolverines. When we look at the Wolverines tonight, we're going to be taking a look at Holton Hunsaker. He's going to be playing a very important role for them tonight. Last game, he had 32 points, 5 3-pointers, and 6 assists, and he was named the Great West Conference Player of the Year. And when you look at Holton, he is the engine that makes the trains go for the Wolverines. He's the one that gets it started offensively, defensively. He's the tone setter, and he's going to have to come out with one of his best games as a Wolverine. And he's had a lot of good ones, but he's going to have a great one tonight against the Aggies.
Yeah, 32 points on Wednesday night against Troy was a career high for Holton. If he does that again tonight, I think the Wolverines will be right in the mix. But keys to victory for the Wolverines tonight from your perspective?
Yeah, these are always important, and there's so many things that go on during a game that can affect a game.
Right.
But I think when we look at the keys for the Wolverines, first of all, they've got to take care of the basketball. When they do that at home, they play very, very well. They've got to control the pace. They can't get into the pace that the Aggies want to play tonight. Inside, they've got to guard number 5, Jared Shaw. They have to equalize him. That's probably going to be the point of emphasis for Ben Aaron in tonight's game. And that curse that we're talking about, 0-7 for the Wolverines. You know that they know that. You know that the Aggies know it. So they're going to look to reverse that curse tonight.
Reverse the curse. I love that. We'll be referring to that throughout the game, I'm sure. We're going to take a break. Back with more Costa Vida pregame show, your starting lineups, and your opening tip coming your way tonight right here on UVU TV.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Back at the UCCU Center, Utah State and Utah Valley getting set to go at it. Here's your starting 5 for Utah State. They're 5-1 on the season, just 1-0 away from home. Marcel Davis at guard. Jared Shaw, he's their leading scorer, their leading rebounder. He'll play forward, he'll play center. He's 6'10". Preston Medlin, a 6'4" guard, a junior, along with Spencer Butterfield and Keyshawn Reed, coached by Stu Merrill in his 15th season at Utah State with a career record. Look at that, 350 wins for Coach Merrill.
Yeah, very impressive. You know, he's taken a program, Utah State, and made them even better than what they were, and he's got the program in a very wonderful spot for them.
Utah State comes in here averaging 70 points a game, giving up 62. They're 5-1 overall. Somewhat unusual that Utah Valley's played 11 games so far. Utah State's only played 6. Utah State did have the one postponement with BYU, but they've just had a lot of practice and not much game time.
Yeah, and you and I both read the words of Coach Morrill on that, stating that, you know, they practiced a lot, they're ready to play some games, and they need to play some games. So, you know, there's only so much you can do in practice. It's time for them to, you know, they're going to get into more games in their schedule. It's going to become a lot more active for them. But as you said, very unusual. They only played 6 games so far.
Yeah, and 8th meeting between Utah State and Utah Valley. Utah State has won all 7 previously, including 3 straight here in Orem, Utah. Meanwhile, Utah Valley, well, they made quite a little to-do about introducing their starting 5. Dance team, cheerleaders, green man group, everybody's involved in this thing here, and they'll dim the lights and introduce them. It's quite a spectacle here at the UCCU Center. If you haven't seen it in person, it's well worth coming out to. UVU 5-6 on the season. They are undefeated at home, though. Yeah, they've played 11 games, Matt, but only 2 of those have been at home.
And there's nothing like playing at home. You know, I can tell you that from experience. And it was unusual for the Wolverines to have so many games to start their season on the road. I'm sure they learned a lot about themselves when they go to these road games. And when they come home, they're going to play with a lot more confidence. It's just a better environment for them to be in, and I expect them to play very well tonight.
All right, it's time for your starting lineups. Let's join arena announcer Eric Allen.
And now, the starting lineups for our UVU Wolverines. At forward, a senior from Clearfield, Utah, number 22, Nick Thompson. Another forward, a senior from Gallup, New Mexico, number 20, Vaughn. At center, a junior from Bountiful, Utah, number 34, Ben Aird. At guard, a junior from Reseda, California, number 11, Jason Johnson. And the other guard, a junior from North Salt Lake City, number 12, Holton Hunsaker. Head coach of the Wolverines is Dick Hunsaker, with assistants Mike Kelly, Steve Payne, Paul Moss, and Sean Detweiler.
There's your starting fire for Utah Valley. 2 seniors, 3 juniors. Holton Hunsaker has started every game his freshman year, every game his sophomore year, and now so far 12 straight of his junior year. 32 points, career high on last Saturday, a double overtime victory in Alabama against Troy. Utah Valley averaging 66 points a game. Coach Dick Hunsaker in his 11th season. So you got 2 very experienced head coaches here tonight, Matt.
Yeah, and they've known each other for a really long time. A lot of their teams have played against each other, so they know each other's coaching style and what they're going to be looking to do. Watching these 2 great coaches, let's see what type of preparation they put their teams through for tonight's game and see how well these 2 teams execute.
Keyshawn Reed do the jump honors for Utah State. Nick Thompson for the Wolverines. We're in Orem, Utah. Utah Valley and Utah State. We're underway. Thanks for being with us. This one should be a lot of fun. Hunsaker. Up top, it's Jason Johnson, one of those transfers. And travel is the call.
Looked like they come out, try and run an isolation play for Jason Johnson. Very good defense there, one-on-one from Preston Medlin, forcing Jason into the travel. But we've seen typically for the Wolverines come out early, try and get it inside. A little different start to this one.
Aggies' first touch, wide open look. Davis takes advantage of that.
And you see the help that the Wolverines are going to give. That ball, when it goes inside to Jared Shaw or Keyshawn Reed, it's going to be a double team from the guards coming down. They're going to have to hurry and rotate back out.
Phenomenal move by Fonz. Alfonso Hubbard, he goes by Fonz. He gets the and 1. Foul's going to go against Butterfield.
See the replay here. This is what the Wolverines, when they play their best, this is the type of thing that they're doing. They're cutting off of screens. They're being active. They're not settling for outside jumpers. They're moving to the basket. And with Ben Aird, with Nick Thompson, and Alfonso Hubbard in the game, they may be very active in posting up early. And you like to see that aggression from Alfonso very early on. And watch the Wolverines pick up here, a little bit of 2-2-1 pressure here, trying to slow the Aggies down in the backcourt.
Does surprise you any?
Not really. I think what would surprise me if the Wolverines get beat, they probably will pull out of that. But just trying to give something new, do a little bit different look. It's not something we've seen from the Wolverines this year.
Keyshawn Reed with it up top now to Davis. Just a minute gone here at the UCCU Center. Inside, easy for Shaw.
Yeah, that's going to be the Aggies' game right there. They're going to try and get Medlin coming off of screens. If they don't have an open shot, they'll try and work it around. Ben Aird a little bit late rotating around the top there on Jared Shaw.
Hunsaker. He had 32 last Saturday. Off to a quick start now.
And we talked about it early on, Jim, in the pregame there. He's got to be the main guy. He's got to be the one that starts it for the Wolverines, and a great opening sign there.
Preston Medlin. Inside. Reed around Ben Air that time.
I think a couple Wolverines got caught on a switch there. Holden Hunsaker ended up guarding Keyshawn Reed for just a moment and fell down, and Preston Medlin found him for the layup.
(6-5). Utah State with a 1-point lead. Early first half. 12-second shot clock. There's a long three from Nick Thompson, the transfer from Oklahoma.
Really good patience there from UVU. They tried to get Holton coming off a double screen initially, but didn't force anything, worked the ball around, ended up in Nick's hands with a nice three.
Jared Shaw misses. Fons with the rebound for UVU. UVU hasn't missed a shot yet. 3 of 3. Utah State 3 of 4 here in the early going. He'll take the three. Big man. Ben Air missed that one though. He's been known to put him up and make them. Medlin trying to work it over the right side, out of bounds, trying to find Butterfield. Turnover Utah State there first.
And this is something we might see throughout the game. On that play, Holton Hunsaker and Nick Thompson switched on a high pick and roll. With how good of shooters Utah State has, we may see that more often, see switching from the perimeter players. And you see the Aggies here now going to a zone with the Wolverines being coming off of such a hot start. They're in a 3-2 zone.
Both teams now 3 of 4 from the floor. I jinxed the Wolverines last time down. Jumper for 3.
Against the zone, Jim, if you're patient and you move the ball and you don't turn it over, you can get great shots. And what a start for the Wolverines shooting the ball tonight. They've got a lot of confidence with them right now.
6-0 run right now for the Wolverines. Butterfield for 3. Cuts the Wolverines lead to 2 with 4 minutes gone in this one.
Yeah, and he's the best three-point shooter for the Aggies, about 45% on the year. So a little bit of a breakdown defensively there, letting him get that open.
Another travel called. Kind of unusual to see Holton Hunsaker posting up inside. Brings us to our first media timeout. Utah Valley with a 2-point lead early here at the UCCU Center.
I'm Sylvia Bentley, an anthropology student at UVU studying ancient Peru, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm graduating with a diploma and a resume.
Utah State, for those watching around the world on UVU TV, that's not that far from here, 122 miles. It really takes about an hour and a half the way Matt drives. Founded in 1888, contrary to popular belief. I was not there at the time. Enrollment 26 and change, blue and white, which a little bit of consternation about that blue and white in this state. So another team around here has blue and white as well. 11-9. UVU at home with a 2-point lead early. Utah State. Medlin over top.
Nice job, Preston Medlin there coming off of the screen. Didn't fade to the three-point line. Kept it a tight screen and kept just rounding that screen going to the basket.
Talk about spreading it around. All 5 starters for Utah State have scored already. 3 for UVU. Hubbard drives in and 1 again. Fons drawing another foul on Butterfield.
That was very similar to the action that we just saw from the Aggies. Almost overload one side, give a lot of space to Alfonso coming off of that handoff, and a nice job of absorbing the contact, going up and finishing the play and getting to the line.
Butterfield takes a seat. Still got 15 minutes here in the first half. Picks up his second foul. Marvin Jean replaces him in Utah State's lineup. Fons, free throw, good. Second time that Fons has connected on the and one. Fonz, the leading scorer in the game, with 6 points. UVU with a 3-point lead, 5 minutes deep. Preston Medlin, wide open though, is Davis. Tipped out, JJ's got it. Jason Johnson hesitates, now drives and travels. Second turnover for Utah Valley.
I like the aggression, but I think he was trying to do a little bit too much there. Got a little bit too aggressive. Maybe better in that instance to pull it out, run a set. You're getting great shots on offense.
Medlin outside, won't go. Rebound to Reed. He lost the handle, and Fonz picks it up for UVU. Hunsaker take an NBA three. Back rim a little too hard. You know, you've got the white stripe is actually the NBA three. The old developmental team for the NBA used to play here. The NCAA three is that line. Inside it goes though. Shot won't go down for Jared Shaw, and UVU with a defensive rebound. Fonz misses that one. So after starting 3 of 3, Utah Valley now 5 of 8.
Both teams cooling off a little bit. Defense is getting a little bit more comfortable.
Well, Utah State's 5 of 9, so both teams right at 50-55%. Shaw backing against Ben. Ben aired and gets the hook down.
We've seen a little bit of two defensive types. We've seen on that last possession, the Wolverines didn't send anybody over to double Jared Shaw and makes the layup. We've seen also a little bit earlier a double team, so see how the Wolverines approach that, what they're going to do.
Fonz working inside. That one looked like it was blocked up high. Somebody got him with the body down low. Fonz will shoot 2. That one's going to be called against Marvin Jean, the player who came in to replace Butterfield after Butterfield picked up his second foul.
We know how good of a post player Alfonso is when he gets down there, and that's a textbook move there. Make a move to the inside, pump fake, get the defender up in the air, and kind of swing through and go immediately up, and the defender had no choice but to foul in that instance.
Hubbard's perfect from the stripe thus far here in the early going, 3 of 3. He's got 7 points overall. Just a 2-point lead for UVU right now. Make it 3.
I like what the Wolverines are doing offensively. We've seen so far that if they're patient, they don't turn the ball over, which they haven't done. They do have 3 turnovers, but when they don't turn the basketball over, they can get great shots on offense.
Reed on the baseline, working against Thompson. Kicks it out, wide open look for 3. Tanel Rowland.
That's the trouble defensively when you have really good post players. When that ball goes inside, sometimes you have to double, you have to have help from guards coming down, leaves players on the 3-point line open, and Utah State has knocked down some early threes on late rotations from UVU.
Antoine Hosley misses inside for UVU. Utah State with it. Shaw, up top it goes now to Rowland, looks to the bench, gets the directions from Stu Morrill. 12 minutes and change left here in this first half. Up top, Rowland won't go. Wolverines pick it up. 4 on 3. Hubbard got it.
That's a great read there from Nick Thompson. He didn't force anything. He could have tried to take that ball to the basket. He realized he had almost a 4 on 2. Great patience pulling up at the 3. Alfonso spotted up. Great job of hitting the 3.
Hosley, one of the quickest players on the team, went for the steal, didn't get it, driving through the lane, dishing off outside to Butterfield. Now up top it goes to Reed. Jumper's good from there.
I think UVU will live with what they've done defensively. The Aggies have hit a lot of outside shots. I think that's probably what they would prefer versus the Aggies getting inside. And here we see this zone again for the Aggies, almost kind of like a 3-2 zone.
Both feet inside to Fonz. Nick Thompson. 10 seconds shot clock. Left side, Hunsaker, another long three. Bonds with the rebound, slapped away, and Utah State picks it up.
Great shot, though. That was a good defensive possession from the Aggies, but a shot that Holton had to take with the shot clock winding down. They did a nice job of working the ball around, though.
Driving in, reverse layup, very nice job from Tennille Rowland, rather. Utah State now with a 1-point lead. Under 10 and a half to play. So the teams head to the locker rooms. Fonz is you can just tell. And another and one. That's 3 already.
This is some of the best basketball I've seen him play in the last couple of years here. You're right, he's just being very aggressive, taking advantages of the space in the zone and creating his own offense.
Alfonso Hubbard already 13 points. UVU with a 1-point lead. Back in a minute.
Having an amazing experience at college isn't just found in the classroom.
It's just as important to have a great experience away from the books.
At Wolverine Crossing, we totally understand that. Take a look around.
We offer an experience that helps you gain the most of what it means to learn and grow.
Plus, you won't find better amenities anywhere else. If you're looking for student housing that will enhance your college experience, look no further.
Wolverine Crossing, student living redefined.
Conveniently located just across the freeway from UVU.
Hi, my name is Tony. I'm a student with UVU Automotive, and this is my classroom. At UVU, you can graduate with a diploma and a resume.
Utah Valley with a 1-point lead. You see Danny Berger there for Utah State. What a story about Danny. 10, 11 days ago, he collapsed up in Logan at practice. His heart actually stopped. Some people are saying it's a heart attack. Some people really just don't know. He had a defibrillator installed in his chest so that doesn't happen again. He is wearing his sweats, but he is not going to play.
Yeah.
And I don't know if he'll play again this year, to be honest with you.
We were talking to someone before the game, and they were mentioning likely not this year, probably going to be coming back, but what an amazing story when he does come back. And what an amazing story it was, his situation, all the help that he got from the training staff.
Yeah.
You know, just incredible response that took place, and great job to everybody that was involved in that, and literally saving his life.
Yeah, we all wish Danny a recovery. In fact, there are signs here hung by the students at Utah Valley wishing him a speedy recovery as well. Danny Berger had started their first 5 games.
And UVU now going to a zone.
2-point lead for the Wolverines. Rowland misses. Big man inside, fighting for the rebound. That's Matt Lopez. Matt Lopez, first action he has seen as a Utah State Aggie, transferred from LaSalle. He was ineligible during the first semester. Final exams were this week, I think. So as soon as exams are over, technically, as far as the NCAA is concerned, that's when the second semester starts. So he is now eligible as of tonight. Big boy, 6'11", 250 pounds.
On that last possession when the Wolverines went to his zone, they're back in a man now. There is one thing that really hurts his zone defense, and that's offensive rebounds. Get a travel here.
That was Lopez. I'm not sure he was expecting that pass that fast. And you got to figure Matt Lopez is rusty. He hasn't played in a real game in a year.
Yeah, it's probably kind of tough. They're working him back into the system here, working him back into his groove. Probably don't expect him to play a lot, but we'll see how it plays out.
Hosley, Hunsaker, Hubbard, Jones, and Brown now on the floor for Utah Valley. A couple of their starters getting some time on the bench. 9.5 to play first half. Fonz has the hot hand. He's got 14 points. Lost it inside. Turnover Wolverines. Their 5th here of the first half. Utah State looking to take the lead with a 2. It's Lopez. Dish it off to Clifford. We're tied at 22.
Yeah, Wolverines gone to a little bit smaller lineup here, and clearly some miscommunication on the backside. You see after the layup made, Holden Hunsaker and Alfonso Hubbard looking at each other. A late rotation or a miscommunication on the inside.
UVU's Coach Dick Hunsaker taking that timeout. Wants to talk to his squad about what to do with this big guy inside in the form of Matt Lopez. They list him at 6'11", 250. I'm not so sure he's not bigger than that. A reminder that our next broadcast will come your way next week on Wednesday night, as the men's basketball team will be entertaining Troy University, 7 o'clock tip here at the UCCU Center. It's the same Troy that the Wolverines beat last Saturday in double overtime in Troy, Alabama. Probably one of the most exciting games I have seen the Wolverines play. So we'll see how they do on Wednesday here on UVU TV.
And you see now the Aggies kind of doing what the Wolverines did a little bit earlier, giving some full court pressure, a 2-2-1 it looked like, and then they just fall back into this zone. Look at this for the Aggies here. That space in the middle where Zach just went and flashed, that's a lot of room, a lot of space and opportunities there for the Wolverines.
Zach Jones has it, kicks it out, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Holton. He has taken some threes from way outside. Nick Thompson inside, though, gets a little jumper to go.
Just as we said on the other end, the thing that kills a zone defense is giving up offensive rebounds, and a great job there tapping the ball out. I think it was Zach Jones that got the tap out, and Nick Thompson with the finish.
Lopez, turnaround jump, put it off the glass, won't go. Tipped out, foul inside on that tip, though. Going to go against UVU. This is the first foul called against UVU, and it comes with, 8:14 left here in the first half.
See the replay here. Nick Thompson on the backside there, a little bit too far under the rim. I think the foul was committed out of the picture there, but yeah, a good point by you, Jim. Only one foul, 12 minutes into the game. That shows that that the Wolverines are playing some good, solid defense. They're in proper position. They don't have to foul. They've been in great position defensively.
And it's not like Utah State's fouling a lot either. No. They've only been called for 4, so thank goodness they're letting them play. Marvin Jean ties it at 24.
Once again, this full court pressure. We saw it broken easily last time. Look for those diagonal passes, and then the Aggies are going to fall back. So let's see, the Wolverines kind of hit a little bit of a lull offensively with this zone. They've taken a couple long three-point shots at the end of the buzzer, at the end of the shot clock. They've got to be a little bit more active offensively.
Jason Johnson and Holton Hunsaker on the bench getting a breather right now for the Wolverines. 6 seconds on the shot clock. JJ dishes off. Jumper outside for 3 will not go for Nick Thompson. And Utah State with a rebound. Preston Medlin. We're tied at 24. 7 and change left here at the UCCU Center for Orem, Utah. Where UVU has not lost this year, even though they've only played 2 home games, but it still sounds good when you say, hey, they haven't lost at home. Meanwhile, Utah State hasn't lost on the road. They've only played 1 road game. Whoa. Okay, there's Matt Lopez. First points as a Aggie.
That play was just broken down. I believe it was Daniil Rowland that came off of a double screen, drove in. Defenders had to rotate over and left Matt Lopez wide open for the dunk. Very nice offensive possession, and Wolverines going to get a shot here in the corner.
Jason Johnson can't get it to go. Ball goes off. A couple of Wolverines right into the hands of Coach Stu Morrill. So that brings us to another immediate timeout. Utah Valley down by 2 to Utah State. We'll take a break, coming back in 60.
Hi, I'm UVU.
And I'm another university. Here you go, UVU.
Oh, thanks, AU.
You're a university now, and I know how stressful that can be. So I figure you need one of these babies.
Great. What is this exactly?
It's a stress monitor. I use them all the time. Let me show you. Hook it up like this, and it measures your stress level so you know when to take a break. After all, you just became a university.
And we have the lowest university tuition fees in the state.
The lowest in the state?
Mm-hmm.
And UVU has an average class size of 30 students to one teacher.
AU, calm down. I mean, this is a good thing.
Now everyone will want to go to UVU.
AU? Are you alright?
Maybe I should go to UVU.
See the replay here. Tennille Rowland going to be coming off of the double screen. Ben Aird forced to come over and give help. And a nice dish off and a dunk finish for Matt Lopez.
That's the way you used to do it, wasn't it, partner?
The pass, yes, not the dunk.
Oh, come on, come on. You could do those rim rattlers, couldn't you?
Maybe off a trampoline when they were before the season. I could do the pass, like I said.
Wolverines down by 2. The largest lead for Utah State here in the first half. Pretty good first half. Rowland wanted it, now he takes it. Ben Aird with the rebound. UVU's got their starting 5 back out there now. Hubbard guarded closely by Reed. Alfonso Hubbard, 14 points already. Hubbard's career high is 19. He's got 14 already.
Yeah, he's played very well. You see a lot of the offense here for the Wolverines off of the long three-point shot.
Jason Johnson. Wolverines back out in front.
I was going to mention that a lot of their offense has now become more perimeter-oriented. They haven't been able to get that ball inside as they did early on. So maybe that's what they're trying to do, but you know, it would be nice to see them get some sort of an inside presence.
Jean for 3, missed it. Rebound fought for Jared Shaw. Ben Aird along with Nick Thompson fighting for it. They're going to call Nick Thompson of UVU for the foul. He's not happy about that. Second personal foul against Nick. He's got both of UVU's fouls here in the first half. That'll put him to the bench. UVU nursing a 1-point lead, coming up on 5 minutes left here in the first half. Turnover, Utah State, their 3rd of the first half.
And the Aggies are getting a lot of opportunities coming off of screens, because the Wolverines are a little bit behind coming off of those screens and able to pass, whether it be just a short pass or a long pass to open teammates on the perimeter. But a nice job there rotating from Taylor Brown.
Hubbard draws a little hand check foul from Keyshawn Reed. Right now, Hubbard, just as you mentioned earlier, playing an amazing game. He's wearing that headband not for style, but to protect a wound that he suffered against Weber State. He had 10 stitches above his right eye.
We saw Holton Hunsaker play really well when he had stitches in his eye and wearing a headband. Maybe that's what all the Wolverines should do.
Get stitches or just wear headbands?
Wear headbands.
Okay.
I don't,
wanted to clarify.
Yeah, wear the headband. Stitches are not advisable.
Hunsaker with a hand in his face. Holton Hunsaker gets his 7th point here in the first half. Utah Valley up by 3 again.
Yeah, really tough shot there from Holton. Stopped on a dime, able to knock it down.
Long 3 outside, no. Ben Aird with a rebound. Ben Aird has just 2 rebounds. Interestingly enough, Ben Aird, the only starter for UVU, hasn't scored yet. He's their leading scorer on the season. But when Hubbard's playing the way he has, you don't need him. Here's another 3 from JJ. Wow, home sweet home for Jason Johnson.
Yeah, he's doing a nice job of working without the basketball. You know, earlier in the shot clock, he tried penetrating, didn't get it, kicked it out, kept moving, kept working, found an open shot on the 3. He's done a great job working without the ball.
6 points for Jason Johnson. Turnaround jumper. Wow, that was pretty far out for one of those little shots from Jared Shaw. He got it to go.
Really tough jump shot. Ben Aird did a nice job of contesting on that. I don't know if he was expecting the shot from that far out, but a nice shot there from Jared Hall. Wolverines narrowly avoid the 10-second backcourt rule there.
Holton Hunsaker directs traffic for the Wolverines. Dishes off Hubbard, shot blocked. That time by Reed. Utah State on the run. Davis turns it over. Jason Johnson's got it. 2 on 3. Out to Taylor Brown. Jumper for 3. Hubbard missed from the corner. Hubbard now 4 of 7 shooting. 1 of 2 from beyond the arc. Coming up in 3 minutes. First half, Wolverines by 4. Inside, they'll give it to Utah State. It's touched by a Wolverine last on the way out. 32-28. Wolverines by 4 here at the UCCU Center.
Dawn is breaking at Utah Valley University. 33,000 students are descending on campus. What are they after? Knowledge? Opportunity? They might be pursuing an MBA, an automotive certificate, or a bachelor's degree in philosophy. But despite their different paths, they share a common understanding.
Coming up at halftime here on UVU TV, we'll be talking to Wolverine Athletic Director Mike Jacobson. He'll join us to talk about UVU's jump to the Western Athletic Conference. And of course, we'll have stats and, as always, Matt Peterson's insightful insights into the first half, along with highlights. Insightful insights?
That was great. That's putting a lot of pressure on me to come up with something really good at halftime.
Yeah, if you need to study, I'll give you some time.
I might need to.
Utah State basketball. They still got 20 on the shot clock on the inbounds play. 3 minutes left here, first half. Medlin, long 2.
I was just going to mention, I don't know how many shots that's been long 2s that the Aggies have hit, probably 4 or 5. Wolverines are struggling, chasing around the perimeter players for the Aggies, and they're getting a lot of shots and a lot of opportunities.
Ben Aird cannot get the shot to go. For Ben, that only his second field goal attempt here in the first half. He's still scoreless. Utah State looks to tie with a 2. Reed takes care of that.
Really tough shot there. Obviously got an opportunity to go to his left, which is the hand that he shoots with, but a tough finish there, falling away from the basket.
Reed's got 6. 3 Aggie players with 6 points each to lead the scoring attack. Jason Johnson cut off on his drive. Under 2 minutes to play, first half now. Wolverines just passing it around. Great ball movement. JJ can't get the shot to go. Utah State with the rebound. Davis slapped away from him. It'll still be Aggie basketball. Tried to blow around Holton Hunsaker.
See the replay here. This is a very common action for the Aggies. A screen, a high screen on the ball, that time from Jared Shaw. Just trying to get Davis some momentum going to the basket.
Driving in. Davis gives Utah State a 2-point lead. Matches their largest here in the first half. Utah Valley is led by as many as 6. Coach Dick Hunsaker very upset with the way his team allowed Davis in there so wide open for that shot.
Yeah, I think he's a little upset with how they're defending the picks on the ball and how they're guarding the pick and the roll, as we see here. And Davis with a nice finish there. Ben the only man in the middle there, but as I said, I think he's a little bit upset with how the Wolverines are defending those picks on the ball and how easy the perimeter players are getting inside. You know, that's a breakdown because it forces your big men to come off of the other, the Aggies' big men, and gives opportunities for, easy passes and layups, which we have seen.
18 points in the paint for Utah State. Look at the shooting percentages here, Matt, on the computers in front of us. 61% for Utah State, just 48% for Utah Valley.
And Utah Valley on the year shoots 45% from the field and 32% from the three-point line. So they're above their season averages, but the problem is the Aggies shoot close to 39% from the field, and tonight they're 62%. Typically, they've been a very good shooting team and doing a great job in the first half tonight.
It will remain Utah Valley basketball. A couple of officials looking at each other on that one. I'm not sure either one had a real clear look at it, but one of them was adamant enough that it belonged to Utah Valley, so it does. 19 seconds on the shot clock for the Wolverines.
And this last minute 15 critical for the Wolverines because the Aggies have put together a pretty good run here. Wolverines need to close out strong.
Hunsaker splits the defense, can't get the shot to go. Thought he was fouled, no call. Jared Shaw with the rebound. Inside it goes. Reed that time went up for it, hit pretty hard. Foul going to be called against Jason Johnson of Utah Valley.
This is what happens when your point guard misses a layup. He's usually the one that's always back defending in transition, and with Holton not able to convert, had a hard time getting back. Consequently, the entire Wolverine team had a tough time getting back, and Reed wide open in the post.
It's a 9-0 run right now for Utah State. They trailed by 6 after an 8-0 run by UVU. Now they've come back with a 9-0 run of their own.
And I think going back to what we said in the pregame, one of the keys for UVU is going to be control the pace. And I think in this last 3 minutes when this run has taken place, Utah State has been the one to control the pace.
That time at least one Wolverine was in the lane too early. So that free throw will not go in the record books as Reed will have another chance at it. Just under a minute to play here, first half. UVU down by 3. Reed's got 7 points. He is the leading scorer for the Aggies here in the first half. Hasn't missed a shot from the floor, hasn't missed a free throw either. It's a 10-0 run. Antoine Hosley over to Fonz. Fairly quiet the last few minutes. Joined us late. Alfonso Hubbard already 14 points. Back it in. Jump hook won't go. Utah State with the rebound. Shot clock's off. Coach Stu Morrill holds up one finger. Aggies will go for the last shot. Unless that's a play that just happens to be number 1. I don't know.
Yeah, likely to be the last shot. Look for them to work this ball around, maybe at the last minute, get one of their bigs to come up, set a screen, try and get Marcel Davis going to the basket. You're going to see Jared Shaw coming up to set that screen.
4 seconds. Shot won't go. Hunsaker at the buzzer, lets one fly and hits the shot clock above the basket. So we'll send the teams to the locker rooms with Utah State having scored the last 10 points of that first half. It was a very interesting first half, Matt. Wolverines jumped out in front by 5 when it was 11-6. Utah State fought back, tied it up. Wolverines jump ahead. Utah State comes back, scores the last 10.
Yeah, I think that run really hurt them.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Bus pass, $5. UVU t-shirt so you can impress the ladies, $25. iPod Nano, $120. A degree from UVU so you can afford your own car someday. Priceless. For everything else, there's student loans.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
Halftime here in Orem, Utah State with a 4-point lead over Utah Valley. Utah State has never lost to Utah Valley, 7-0 against the Wolverines. Wolverines, though, hanging tough here in that first half, Matt. Pretty interesting first half.
Yeah, we saw a lot of different things happen. We saw the Wolverines come out real strong, shot the ball extremely well to start the game. We saw both teams kind of slow down a little bit in the middle part of that first half, and then the last 3 minutes is when the Aggies really turned it on, keyed that 10-0 run that we talked about, and it's got them a 4-point lead. So, you know, the Wolverines are going to need to make some adjustments. The Aggies will make some adjustments and see what happens in the second half.
59% shooting for Utah State in the first half.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, and as I said, historically they've been a very good shooting team. You know, always near the national leaders, but you know, shooting 60% is incredible. And I don't know if they're going to be able to keep that up. I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. So Wolverines can, you know, try and force them more on the perimeter. They're only shooting 2 of 7 from the three-point line are the Aggies. So try and keep them out of that paint, get them to shoot more jump shots because it's highly unlikely they're going to shoot 60% in the second half.
Exactly. I think we've got some highlights queued up for you, Matt. I'll let you walk us through these highlights as you see what happened in that first half.
Yeah, the Aggies got a lot of perimeter jump shots. You see a couple times where UVU guards double down and get some open jump shots for the Aggies. A nice play there from Alfonso Hubbard very early on. Jump shot from Holden Hunsaker. You know, you see a lot of good action, a lot of open shots for the Wolverines very early on. I think the Wolverines have done a very nice job defending Jared Shaw, as you see right there. He only had 6 points. 6 points in the first half, 6 rebounds. But I think they've done a very nice job defending him. That he's been the leading scorer. But you know, Wolverines, I think they can be proud of their first half and look at what the positive things that they've done when they move that basketball. They're able to get good open shots, and the same is true for the Aggies.
And I'm not so sure that big guy right there didn't give him a pretty good spark off the bench.
Yeah, he definitely came in. You know, we talked about how he hasn't really played, but you know, looked like he'd been playing for a very long time. I think that one point real quick here, you had a lot of good combination of Jason Johnson and Holden Hunsaker. See the Wolverines 11 of 25 from the field. They had 5 turnovers. That's very good for them. They haven't turned the basketball over and shooting a respectable percentage, 5 of 13 from the three-point line. But you know, looking at the Aggies, 16 of 27 from the field. They have 18 points in the paint. They only have 4 turnovers, so it's been a clean game for both teams. 3-point field goal has kind of been their weak spot so far, 2 of 7, but they have hit a lot of long-range 2-point jump shots. One other point, the Aggies have 11 points off of their bench. The Wolverines don't have any, yeah. So the Wolverines are going to need to get some more help from their bench in the second half.
Utah State leads by 4 at halftime. Utah State currently a member of the Western Athletic Conference, the WAC. Utah Valley this time next year will be a member of the WAC, and boy, oh boy, there's a lot of excitement around here about that.
I'm pleased to announce that Utah Valley University has accepted an invitation to join the Western Athletic Conference.
as of July 1st, we will be full, active, participating, competing members of the WAC.
It will be fierce, and it will be one of the ideals of high sportsmanship. We really do believe the true heroes in this are the student athletes.
You're recruited and you've come to Utah Valley University to be a Wolverine and to wear green and be proud of who you are.
For their belief in the vision of what UVU could be, for their relentless hard work to prepare themselves for this opportunity. On behalf of the Western Athletic Conference, welcome to the WAC.
So this time next year, Utah Valley will be in the WAC. We are joined now by the man who is responsible for all of that, good or bad, Mike Jacobson, athletic director here at UVU. Thanks for joining us, Mike. Wow, what the heck is going on at the landscape of college basketball and college sports right now?
Well, we've never seen anything like it in the past, and the thing about it, it's not all over. There's going to continue to be a lot of movement and change, and it's getting pretty bizarre right now, the direction it's all going.
Exactly, and you guys are part of that. You're joining the WAC next year, but a move up for you guys, right?
That's the great part of the whole thing, is that we are going to be a member of the Western Athletic Conference, and you know, that brings so much to us that we've not had in the past. You know, like I do, the WAC has a great brand nationally and in the state of Utah, and it's not the WAC it's been in the past because, you know, they won't have the football programs, but we're putting together a good group of universities that's going to come together and make a great conference. We're going to have automatic qualifiers, and we're going to be able to be right there, right from the beginning.
So it sounds like to me, when you say we're putting together, the WAC's not done yet.
They're absolutely not done. They've got more to go, and you're going to see some nice programs come into the conference in the next little bit.
And now, as a member, or at least a future member, as of July 1, you get to vote on those incoming groups, right?
We're totally involved in everything they do right now, all their meetings and everything that's going on. Some things we can vote on and some things we can't, but we're definitely a part of what's happening right now.
All right, you're an old coach yourself. What do you think about that first half, young man?
You know, it's two teams out there battling and doing their best. You know, we went on a good run, they went on a good run. Now the key to it is going to be who can really pick it up and play good steady ball now this second half.
We just had that graphic up. A couple of other Great West Conference schools that are currently in the Great West Conference now, Chicago State and Texas Pan-Am, headed toward the WAC beginning next year. Texas Pan-Am, is that a sure deal, or they still have to vote?
No, it's a sure deal. That's done. They're going to have their press conference next week on the 19th.
Okay, so that's a sure deal.
That's done, yeah.
They're coming, so who's left from the Great West Conference? Just NJIT?
Just New Jersey's the only school left, yeah.
All right, and geographically, that doesn't sound like a good fit for the Western Athletic Conference, but who am I to say? And Grand Canyon, a school a lot of folks haven't heard about.
Well, Grand Canyon is a great Division II program. They're in Arizona. They've won the Lears Directors Cup the last 2 years, which is the best overall program in all of Division II. They'll be a tough team coming into the conference. They're very, very competitive. They've got really nice facilities, and they'll be a good member. And you talked about New Jersey. There's so many schools, conferences on that East Coast. I think there's 6 conferences right, within, several hundred miles of where they're at. So something's going to land for them because they're really good people there and they do things well. And I'm really confident Lenny and his group will get a conference out there.
Mike Jacobson, athletic director here at Utah Valley. I'm sure I speak for a lot of UVU fans in saying thanks for getting us this far, young man.
Oh, it's been fun. It's been a great ride, and we've had tremendous people that all makes it happen, and I'm just one part of it. And Preston Holland and so many others, Corey Duckworth, and our student athletes, they're the heroes in all of this because they've continued to come here and be a part of our program, knowing that there's no automatic qualifier. There's nothing at the end of the tunnel, so to speak, and we've been able to come together and be competitive and have great people that are here to get a degree and to progress their life. And so we're looking forward to what the future of the WAC will bring to us.
Terrific. Mike, thanks. Good to see you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Jimmy.
You bet. Mike Jacobson, athletic director here at Utah Valley. We're going to take another break. We'll be back with your second half coming up here on UVU TV.
I never used to care about college sports. I mean, I go to a game or two, but it's mainly for social reasons, But now things are different.
And how has green fever affected your school spirit?
Are you kidding me? I never miss a sporting event, home or away. You got NCAA baseball, softball, basketball, cross country, golf, track and field, wrestling, soccer, volleyball. I'm keeping stats. I'm memorizing stats. I'm memorizing numbers. I'm dreaming about numbers. I'm dreaming about Wolverines. I just bought a pet Wolverine. It tore my dad's favorite shoe. It was wicked awesome.
And how does that make you feel?
Oh, yeah, I guess it's pretty cool. Me? No, I don't play sports. I wouldn't want to make the athletes envious. I don't mess around, man.
Come join the student section and cheer for the Mighty Wolverines. Mighty Athletic Wolverine League sports passes are now available. Your mall pass gets you tickets to every NCAA home game, free food at the tailgate parties, prizes at the games, and lots of new friends. Get more information on their Facebook page or by calling Campus Connection at 801-863-8797. Go UVU!
Utah State, 10 straight points, taking the teams to the locker room. They had trailed 32-26. They run off 10 straight to lead 36-32 at halftime. In fact, UVU, Matt Peterson, did not score the last 4 minutes and 21 seconds of that first half.
Yeah, and I think that, we take a look at a lot of the three-point shots from the Wolverines in the first half. I think the first couple minutes are going to be very critical for both teams, probably more so for the Wolverines because of that 10-0 run that the Aggies are on. So I know that the Wolverines generally come out of the second half a lot of energy. They're going to need that because the Aggies have gained a lot of confidence here. See the three-point percentages in the first half, but this first couple minutes are going to be very critical for UVU.
Alfonso Hubbard, 14 points. Hunsaker, 7. Johnson, 6 off the bench. Nick Thompson with 5 points. Off the bench, Jones, Brown, Hosley, scoreless. And starter Ben Aird for Utah Valley, scoreless in that first half, which is a shock to me because Ben is their leading scorer, leading rebounder. He's had a couple of games lately, though, where he hasn't scored in the first half, and all of a sudden he'll still end up with 18 points.
Yeah, exactly. We see some of the keys of the game here. Wolverines have done a very nice job of taking care of the basketball. They did a good job controlling the pace, except for that last 3-4 minutes that we talked about. And this is exactly what you just mentioned. That equalized Jared Shaw. Jared has 6 points, 6 rebounds. Ben Aird has not scored, as you said. So he's the leading scorer for the Wolverines. Averages 13 points on the year. They've got to have some type of inside presence from him in the second half because you see the Wolverines, when they don't have his presence, thankfully they've had Alfonso Hubbard inside posting up and getting a lot of layups, but it just takes away that inside game that they have, and they're going to have a big second half from Ben Aird.
Starting 5 for Utah State. Butterfield had 3, Davis had 4, Shaw was 6, Medlin had 4, and Reed had 8. Jean came off the bench with 2, Clifford Lopez with 2 each, and Rowland had 5. Utah State will start their same 5 second half as they started in the first half. Utah Valley will also counter with their starting 5.
One other point, Jim, talking about points in the paint and an inside presence. UVU in the first half only had 8 points in the paint, and it strains your shooting because you know that you're not going to keep up that hot shooting that they had at the first part. So you got to look to get that ball inside. Maybe they look to post up, Nick Thompson a little bit more. But I think don't be shocked to see them go to Ben early in the second half.
If you joined us late, missed the pregame show, we mentioned neither one of these teams has lost on Saturday this season. Utah State undefeated on the road. Utah Valley undefeated at home. All those things are going to change here in the next 20 minutes of basketball, or so. Davis opens the second half with a miss. Utah State tracks down the rebound, though.
Once again, there was that guard having to go down and double, forcing the kick out and not able to get out on the rotation in time.
Butterfield inside. So going back to the first half, it's a 12-0 run. UVU has been known to give up huge runs this season. Whistle well before the basket. That one's going to go inside against Ben Ayer, away from the play.
Unfortunate call there for the Wolverines because Nick Thompson had a wide open lane to the basket and no Aggie defender in sight, but gets taken away with the foul call.
Excuse me, foul against Reed of Utah State. His second. Minute gone, JJ drives in. That stops that 12-0 run.
Yeah, very nice play there. Not forcing anything, not trying to go too hard to the basket, get any type of an offensive foul, pulled up early from the defender. Has a great early basket.
Taylor Brown steps in front of a pass. UVU comes up with a Utah State turnover. Both teams now with 5 turnovers each. Nick Thompson shot blocked. 2 Aggies on the floor. One of them going to be called for the foul.
And you see the skill there from Nick Thompson. We'll see a replay. See the end there where Jared Shaw comes over and blocks the shot, but a foul called before that. But you see Nick Thompson's ball handling, his skill in the open court relieves a lot of pressure from Holton when you can have a big player, in this case the 4-man for UVU, being able to bring the ball up, and clearly the Aggies not set defensively, ready to defend that.
That foul was against Keyshawn Reed, his 3rd, so he'll take a seat, replaced by Ben Clifford. Reed, the leading scorer in the game for Utah State with 8 points, on the bench now with 3 fouls.
And this is a great start for UVU. They got that bucket early from Jason Johnson, got to the free throw line there with Nick Thompson. It's been a positive start for UVU.
Medlin for 3. Ben Ayer tracks down the rebound for UVU. Well, even after a 12-0 run for Utah State, Utah Valley really just down by 3.
And their defense has been key for them because it has kept them in the game during that run from the Aggies.
Hunsaker, a floater inside. Bodies crashing to the floor, no call. These officials are letting these 2 teams play. Only had 8 fouls called in that first half. And as soon as I say that, guess what? Holton Hunsaker going to be called for the reach-in.
Coach Hunsaker better be careful here. Dwayne Allen, referee, looking like he's going to get ready to tee him up. (38-35), Utah State by 3. Coach Dick Hunsaker still in conversations with officials about that last call. Well, hopefully that's not a sign of things to come where they'll start calling a whistle on every play. Yeah, well, it's quite a reversal as we talked about from the first half when there weren't very many foul calls, 8 total in the first half, and we've already got 3 here in the second half. Definitely starting to call it a little bit tighter. Maybe that's showing that the game has gotten a little bit more physical.
38-35, Utah Valley down by 3. Utah Valley led by 6 in that first half. Utah State has led by as many as 6 as well. Last time was here in the second half, as they finished off that 12-0 run. Johnson, Hunsaker, Thompson, Brown, and Ayer on the floor for the Wolverines. Alfonso Hubbard, game high 14 points on the bench right now. I'm sure we'll see Fonz before too long. Shaw gets the inbounds. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah. Now we are going to see a whistle on every play, evidently. Second team foul going to be called this time against Jason Johnson of UVU.
A lot of the fouls that the Wolverines are getting right now is coming off screens. That last one on Jason Johnson was trying to chase Preston Medlin off of the screen. Need the pressure coming off the screen, but they're being a little too aggressive.
Medlin looking inside. They get it inside to Shaw. Looks against Ben. He'll take a long jump. Good. Shaw's got 8 points.
We've seen him hit from a lot of different places on the floor. He's obviously got some layups. He had that jump hook shot in the first half, and there steps out a little bit further for the jumper. It makes it tough for Ben. Obviously has to guard a lot of different offensive positions that Jared may be in.
Jason Johnson drives in, gets the finger roll to go.
Great. He's come out. He's been the player for the Wolverines here in the second half. Got a couple easy baskets, nice layups, giving the Wolverines a little more momentum.
Jason Johnson now with 10 points. Jared Shaw, with jump hook. Shooters roll. 42-37. About 3.5 minutes deep here in our second half. Antoine Hosley running point guard for the Wolverines as Holton Hunsaker on the bench right now. Nick Thompson cut off. Ben Aird takes the three. Rebound comes down to Utah State's Tennille Rowland.
They're going to go back into Jared Shaw. He's come out with a couple easy baskets. Wouldn't be surprised to see try and get him isolated on one side, get him a post up here.
12 seconds on the shot clock. Jason Johnson goes for the steal. 6 seconds on the shot clock for Utah State to work with coming in here. That brings us to our first media timeout of the second half. Wolverines down by 5.
Think back to when you were a child. What did you dream of becoming as an adult? A pilot? A teacher? A nurse? Maybe a mathematician? A mechanic? Or a scientist? Now imagine a place where everyone is focused on your success. Imagine an education that is personal, engaging, fun, and professional. With an education from UVU, all of this becomes true. Utah Valley University. It's your dream. It's your university.
Well, I guess I really got green fever when, I found out how Utah Valley University can get me a great education because...
Are you here for zombies? This is green fever. Zombies meets down the hall, room 1023.
Stu Morrill's Aggies right now with a 5-point lead over UVU. Stu Morrill, his 15th season at Utah State, 350 wins, pretty impressive. Coach of the year frequently. Wow, quite a resume for Stu Morrill up in Logan.
6 seconds on the shot clock here, Jim. Best defensive possessions for the Wolverines. Let's see if they can finish this off.
Hitting the ground hard, rolling jumper by Clifford. They did beat the shot clock, but Wolverines come away with a rebound on the miss. There's Spawns back into the game for Utah Valley, as is Hunsaker. Starting 5 right now on the floor for the Wolverines. 15.5 minutes to play here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley down by 5 to Utah State. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Hunsaker will take it in the trees, draw the foul. This will be the third team foul. Personal foul is going to be called against Tennille Rowland, his second.
Really good play there from Holton. Obviously the shot clock running down. Play was designed a little bit earlier to get Ben Aird the ball inside. He wasn't able to get open, But ball rotated out to Holton, and once again, making something out of nothing, it seems, and getting to the free throw line.
Holton Hunsaker's first trip to the charity stripe tonight. String music on the first one. Pulls the Wolverines to within 4. Holton Hunsaker, one of the best free throw shooters in the nation the last 2 years. In fact, for a time last year, or last season rather, he was #1 in the nation. And missed, I think, two out of his last 20 free throws and finished top 10.
Yeah, he's incredible when he gets to the free throw line. You can tell it's just from all the free throws that he's shot, just pure repetition. He just gets up there and knows what to do.
3-point game coming up on 15 minutes left. Utah State, Medlin. Baseline drive, dish off to the big man, Lopez. Wow. I think they're glad to have him eligible. JJ drives in, too hard off the glass. Lopez with a rebound. Lopez again. Oh my goodness. Wolverines cut it to 3, and all of a sudden, back-to-back baskets by Matt Lopez. Transfer out of LaSalle. This is the first time anybody from Utah State's had a chance to watch him play. Hunsaker misses the 3, whistle inside on the rebound. Looks like it's going to go against the Wolverines. Ben Aird this time for sure.
Yeah, long 3-point shot there. Ben Aird tried to crash the glass, get position, but he was blocked out there from Matt Lopez. Gets called for the push-off. Wolverines, they've got to, struggling offensively. This end of the court, their defense is going to be critical for them here. They need to put together a couple of stops, get the Aggies out of their rhythm.
Butterfield. A little 6-0 spurt now after Wolverines had drawn to within 3. Aggies back out in front now by 9. 14 minutes left here at the UCCU Center. Wolverines just 2 of 6 shooting here in the second half. Whistle inside. Ben Aird and Lopez. 2 big bodies just banging at it. That time Lopez getting called for the foul.
Big time battle going on inside, and a nice job, Ben there, ducking in, getting on top of Matt Lopez in the paint. And Ben's going to have to do a little bit more of that, and we see him right there, but taken away from Marcel Davis.
Davis dishes off, gets it back for the layup. It's an 8-0 run. My goodness. Utah State all fired up. They come out here, 70% shooting in the second half. They put up 10 shots and made 7 of them. Just playing catch on the fast break.
And that's how you run a 2-on-1 break right there. You give it up early, you get it back very quick. And Holton Hunsaker, no shot there through no fault of his own, a turnover on the other end. So tough spot for the Wolverines, down 11. We've got to get a couple easy baskets here. Try and get some defensive stops, but who's it going to be for the Wolverines? We've seen in the past it's Holton Hunsaker. We've seen that it's Ben Aird, but Wolverines are going to have some help offensively.
A reminder, our next broadcast here on UVU TV comes your way Wednesday night here from the UCCU Center. The Trojans of Troy will be in the house at 7 o'clock. .5 minutes to play here. Wolverines now down by 11. Biggest lead of the game for Utah State. Nick Thompson. Working against Clifford. Can't get it to go. Travel. 7th turnover for UVU.
Yeah, we see the defense of the Aggies really setting in. Wolverines being forced out, pushed out to the perimeter, having a tough time getting anything inside, getting any type of penetration. Really just going through a tough stretch here offensively.
Medlin goes up top to Reed. Jumper way outside won't go. UVU with the rebound. Nick Thompson's got it. Big man can dribble. He'll bring it up. Over to Hubbard. 3-pointer won't go. And Utah State touched it last. Wolverine basketball. Hubbard 14 points all in the first half. fresh 35 shot clock to work with for the Wolverines. Look at Hubbard just working to get something. Nick Thompson open, long three, got it.
Yeah, big shot there from Nick Thompson. As you said, Alfonso ran almost like an isolation play out of the timeout there. Didn't have anything. Nick Thompson spotted up in a late rotation from Matt Lopez. That was a big basket for UVU.
UVU pulls to within 8. Wolverines trailed at halftime by 4. Lopez working against Nick Thompson this time. Double team. Hunsaker out. 8-second shot clock. Davis. Easy layup. 10-point lead for the Aggies.
Great defense there from UVU up until that last drive. That's the type of intensity that they have to have.
Nick Thompson drives in. Shot won't go. Marcel Davis trying to draw the charge, but Davis instead will be called for the block. So Nick Thompson will be at the free throw line when we get back from this break. 10-point game, Utah State out in front of Utah Valley.
See the last drive here from Nick Thompson, a really nice foot fake out on the perimeter, able to get the defender off balance, created a lane to the basket for himself and goes up strong. Marcel Davis called for the block. I think he's going to be a catalyst here for UVU. He hit that long three-point shot a moment ago.
Nick Thompson was on.
Yeah, exactly. He's got that skill where give him a little bit of space, he can create an opportunity, and you see it there with a great drive to the basket.
First foul against Davis. Davis, Lopez both with 1. Butterfield's out there with 2. Reed's on the floor again for Utah State with 3 fouls. Utah Valley, Johnson and Thompson with 2 each. Hunsaker's got 1. Hubbard and Brown out there with no fouls. So not a lot of foul trouble for either team yet. Reed the only player for either team with 3 or more.
And I want to mention something too, Jim. I mentioned at halftime I didn't think the Aggies were going to be able to keep up their 60% shooting in the first half, and I stand corrected because in the second half they're shooting 67%.
All right, well, they didn't keep it up.
They didn't. They did a lot better.
They
did a lot better. It's incredible how well they have shot. Still struggling from the three-point line. UVU on the other side of that in the second half, 37%, giving them about 42% in the game, where the Aggies have 62%. Incredible shooting.
Nick Thompson scored the last 5 points for the Wolverines. 8-point lead for the Aggies, though. 11.5 to play. Evan won't go. Aggies control on the rebound.
UVU with a little bit smaller lineup. Ben Air not in the game. Nick Thompson, the tallest player. You got to have a lot of rebounding help from the other players.
Charge going to be called on Preston Medlin of Utah State. Holton Hunsaker, a master at drawing charges.
And it's all about awareness, and that's what makes Holton so great about it. He's always in a great defensive spot, makes it easy to rotate over, and in that case came over and helped and took the charge.
Medlin's first foul, but more importantly, 6th team foul against Utah State, still with 11 minutes to play.
Yeah, and Wolverines can play on that. They can keep being aggressive, don't force anything, but if they have something, use it to their advantage.
Jason Johnson feeds Hubbard inside. And Keyshawn Reed going to be called for perhaps foul number 4. Yep, foul against Reed.
A nice job there from Jason Johnson probing the defense. He got the ball in the short corner, kind of worked his way in, saw that he had an advantage over Preston Medlin, and
Reed had to come over and help. A really nice dish off. Nice job of Alfonso going up strong and getting to the line. And as you just mentioned, every foul down the stretch now for the Aggies, or on the Aggies, I should say, will put UVU at the free throw line.
Alfonso Hubbard now 15 points to lead all scorers in this game.
Not to mention the fact that Keyshawn Reed is now out with 4 fouls. He plays a big part for their team, averaging 11 points on the year, 11 points per game on the year. So an offensive threat taken out with fouls.
It remains 52-45, just under 11 minutes left here. We're at the UCCU Center in Orem, Utah, on the campus of Utah Valley University. Members of the Great West Conference currently set to join the WAC next season. Jumper outside for 3 is no good. Fonz blocks the putback from Clifford. UVU's got it. Jason Johnson lost his footing, slides down, calls the timeout. JJ mad at himself for slipping down. Heads up play though to call the timeout.
Yeah, really heads up play. It all started with the block on the defensive end from behind by Alfonso Hubbard. And then the Wolverines were out and running. I love when they get that tempo, when they're able to get turnovers and they get out and running. And as you said, nice job Jason Johnson staying aggressive as he has been.
Here's the upcoming lineup for UVU TV games. Troy, as we've mentioned a couple times, will be in the house on Wednesday, 7 o'clock tip next week. Then a week from tonight, North Carolina Central, a rematch. Wolverines went there earlier this season, and that's where Holton Hunsaker picked up a few stitches. So they'll be in the house next Saturday. And then Great West Conference opponents after that, NJIT, Houston Baptist, Pan Am, Chicago State, and then future WAC member Cal State Bakersfield rounds out the home slate on March 9th. All those games will be broadcast here on UVU TV. Right now, Wolverines trying to climb back in this one. Nick Thompson inside, travels. 10 minutes, 20 seconds left to play here.
Well, for all the good things we talked about, Jim, that the Aggies have been doing, they're only up 7 points. Wolverines have come away with a couple good defensive possessions last time down. Let's see if they can keep that momentum going.
Clifford moves over to Medlin. 15 seconds shot clock. Davis drives in, lost the handle momentarily. Clifford fighting for the rebound, and they'll call a foul against UVU inside.
UVU's being hurt defensively with some of these backside or weak side rebounds. Shots are going up, and Wolverines are having a hard time blocking out on that weak side. Another instance there when Ben Clifford gets the ball on a weak side rebound.
Taylor Brown being called for the foul. His first, team's 4th of the half.
And no surprise seeing Ben Aird coming back into the game to help with that. Obviously the best rebounder that the Wolverines have. And it's a total team effort too. You got to have all your guards rebounding down if you want to come down with the ball.
Medlin, turnaround jumper, too hard. Shaw fights for the rebound. Jean with the jumper outside, won't go. That one saved from going out of bounds. Wow, tell me this is not intense. Players diving everywhere for it, and that time Ben Clifford comes up with it with enough to call a timeout. He's pretty happy about that.
Yeah, he was very happy, sticking his tongue out and everything. But these offensive rebounds are not doing the Wolverines any favors and doing the Aggies a lot of favors because it's giving them these second chance points. You see here all teams, Holton Hunsaker saving the ball, Ben Aird coming in there, Ben Clifford coming in. I think you see Holton there saying he didn't have the ball, and on that replay it looked like he almost didn't have the ball when he...
Well, he had it and he got it back.
He had it and got it back. But great hustle from both teams, as you said.
If I'm Clifford, I'm sticking my tongue out too.
Yeah.
That was a good play.
Yeah, he was definitely excited about that, but 9.5 minutes left, both teams playing with a whole lot of intensity.
7-point lead for the Aggies of Utah State. Last time the Wolverines led, it was 32-30. We're under 9.5 to play now. Wolverines jump in front of it, come up with a turnover.
Great job there, Nick Thompson. He was screened along the baseline as Ben Clifford was coming along to get the ball, and he just nothing but fought through it to get the rebound.
Ben Aird finally scores a point. Comes with 9 minutes and change left in the second half.
Just an aggressive duck in right into the middle of the paint, right into the middle of the lane. And you can imagine what that's going to do for him as they're going to need him.
Ben Aird came in here averaging a team high 13 points a game. That's his first 2. Hunsaker thought he had a clean strip inside. Instead, Holton will be called for the foul. His second. 8:53 to play. 5th team foul. Shooting foul, so they'll put Marcel Davis at the free throw line for 2.
Tough to see. That's a fast action there. Hands coming down, the ball's going up. Tough to see if there really was any type of a contact there. Obviously, a foul was called, but we've seen the Wolverines get called for a lot of those fouls. Swiping at the ball. It may be more to their advantage to not try that, just because they are getting called for a lot of those fouls.
Utah State has not missed a free throw in this game. That's the good news for them. The bad news is they've only been there 4 times. They're 4 of 4. Wolverines are 11 of 13.
Yeah, Aggies with a press here, probably going to fall back into his own defense.
Antoine Hosley over to Hunsaker, inside feed, Ben Aird. Out to Nick. Kicked away. Turnover, Wolverines. Davis with it. He'll take the long 3. Got it. Well, the little 5-0 spurt for Utah State matches the Wolverines' 5-0 run that they had just been on before that happened. The teams trading little 5-0 runs. Just under 8 to go. It's a 10-point lead again. Nick Thompson. Rebound comes down to Jared Shaw. His 9th rebound of the game.
Something pretty interesting that I'm seeing here. Marcel Davis coming into this game had only attempted 7 3-point shots, and tonight he's attempted 4. So I think the Wolverines were planning on him not being much of a 3-point threat, and he's come up and hit a couple tonight.
And Davis working against Holton Hunsaker inside, and it's going to be yet another foul against Holton Hunsaker. His 3rd. Wolverines are down by 10. 7.5 minutes to play here at the UCCU Center.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
I'm Patty Garcia, a geology student at UVU, and this is Engaged Learning. At UVU, I'm learning by doing.
I'm Joe Luce, an anthropology student at UVU, and this is my classroom. At UVU, I'm sharpening my mind and my skills.
Utah State with a 10-point lead. I tell you what, the month of December under Coach Stu Morrill, Utah State just dominates their opponents.
They play well both at home and on the road. We've seen the month of December is when these two teams usually play, and the Aggies are well coached, well prepared, and as are the Wolverines.
32 points in the paint tonight for Utah State. Their shooting has cooled off, Matt. They're now at 47% here in the second half. And another foul inside. This one's going to go against Ben Aird of UVU. Well, you know, we mentioned it coming out of that halftime break that was nice to see him just call 9 fouls total in that first half.
Yep.
Now how many have we had in the game? My goodness, 22 fouls total, so already 12 here in the second half.
And I think Marcel Davis has done a lot of good things for the Aggies in the game, but more so here in the second half. He's been the primary ball handler, been the one to mostly get them into their offense, and he's done a really nice job of driving and passing. And
just a freshman.
When the opportunity presents itself, knocking down the jump shot.
Played high school ball at American Fork High School just up the road here. 59-47. It's the biggest lead for Utah State in the game. Hubbard hasn't had many shots in the second half. Gets that one down. That stopped a 7-0 run.
Yeah, he's kind of been the go-to guy tonight. Alfonso Hubbard had. He's played a great game. 10-point deficit with just under 7 minutes left.
Inside Butterfield. And it looks like Clifford is injured. Hold it. Get hit the bridge of the nose, across the eyes, maybe, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he got poked in the eye.
One of the most painful basketball injuries there are. There is. There are several.
Looks like, and it was from his own teammate too. It was from his own teammate hitting him, almost looked like with either the back of his head or maybe he wasn't hit in the eye. Either way, he looks like he's in pain.
Bridge of the nose is my guess, but I'm not sure about that. Either way, he's on the bench right now with his team out in front by 10. 10 seconds on the shot clock for Utah State. Davis has it. Over to Butterfield, who put it up for 3, missed it. Nick Thompson on the run all the way. Big man can move. 6'10". Nick Thompson, transferred from Oklahoma, sat out last year for UVU. He's a senior though. Ben Ayer jumps in front of that pass. Wolverines come up with the 8th turnover of Utah State.
And they couldn't ask for anything more defensively than what they've got the last 2 possessions, and they've converted offensively as well.
Nick Thompson feeds inside Ben Ayer. Wolverines 6-0 run right now.
This game has been a game of runs.
It has.
No doubt. I mean, it's gone back and forth. One team 10-0, the next team 8-0, 6-0, 6-0. It's been incredible. Now, these types of runs have done both teams a lot of favors, and right now, momentum is definitely with UVU.
Wolverines have scored 6 straight points in the last minute 23.
A great pass here from Nick Thompson. You see a wonderful finish there. Keyshawn Reed got stuck on top, wasn't able to rotate fully over and front Ben Ayer from getting that ball. Just a great offensive play, and Nick Thompson keying it with a great pass.
Just a 6-point lead for Utah State now. 5 minutes, 39 seconds left in this one. Pretty good crowd on hand for being holiday break. You know, not many students still in town. As you see, UVU's next 5 games. Troy and Carolina Central next week, and then on the road for the Dr. Pepper Classic Friday and Saturday after Christmas in Chattanooga. They'll take on Austin Peay in the first round, and then depending on who wins and loses, either Chattanooga or High Point in the second one. Oh my goodness, Matt Lopez. You think this kid's not got fresh legs?
Yeah, that was a great move too. He just spun his way around Ben in the post. Let's see what the Wolverines do to respond. They've got to keep up their intensity. They can't get lackadaisical. Just keep moving on offense.
Inside Hubbard. Kicks it out. Hunsaker for 3.
Let's see on defense here. If the ball goes back into Matt Lopez, you've got Jared Shaw out of the game. If the ball goes into Matt Lopez, let's see if the Wolverines are going to do any type of double team, try and get the ball out of his hands. It's like UVU's doing a lot of switching on the perimeter. They don't want to leave any open shots for the guard players for Utah State.
Butterfield drains it. Back to a 7-point lead for the Aggies. 4:20 left.
So UVU is going to run a similar play what they did last time as the Aggies are in this 3-2 zone.
Hubbard for three. Missed it. Rebound Butterfield for Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State's going to work the clock here. With this 7-point lead that they have, look for them to work the clock, try and take some time off, and then get the ball into Marcel Davis's hand and maybe a screen up top as you see it coming up from Matt Lopez.
Davis, the freshman, spins in the lane. And a little reach-in foul going to be called on Holton Hunsaker. Basket will count.
Costa Vida was born on the beach, so the coast inspires how we prepare everything, from our crisp salads to our irresistible burritos. And with more fresh sauces and salsas to choose from, meals at Costa Vida are truly a custom experience. Costa Vida, the coast is calling.
Welcome to Utah Valley University, home to an educational philosophy that engages its students in hands-on, practical education. I invite you to learn more about one of Utah's largest, fastest growing, and most dynamic universities.
We showed you Utah Valley's next 5 games. Here's what the Aggies face. Nicholls State, Davis, Southern Illinois, Texas San Antonio, and Texas State. A lot of those are all at home in a little round-robin tournament they got going next weekend. Right here, though, heck of a game right now, 65-56 after that last bucket was good and the and one. Holton Hunsaker now with 4 personal fouls for UVU. He'll stay out there. Coach Dick Hunsaker needs his point guard running things down the stretch here with 3:35 left. Davis misses. Hubbard tracks down loose ball rebound for UVU. Every possession critical now for Utah Valley.
They've got to get into their offense a little bit quicker than what they're doing. They've used 20 seconds off of the shot clock.
Ben Aaron inside, off the glass, good.
Here, Jim, I think what's going to be key. Once again, we're going to see the Aggies use some clock. This ball's going to go to Marcel Davis's hands, and they're going to get a screen coming up at the top for him, or possibly for Preston Medlin. It's going to be about how the Wolverines can defend that pick on the ball the last 3 minutes of the game here.
10 seconds on the shot clock. Reed threw it away. Hunsaker stepped in front of it. Into Hubbard. Back out to Hunsaker. He'll launch a 3. Won't go. Ben Aird's back up. Utah State basketball.
Great job rebounding. A good shot from Holton. Ben got that ball. I think he just rushed it a little bit on the backside there. But plenty of time here for UVU. You're going to get a timeout from Utah State.
Stu Morrill with 2:05 left to play. Caused the timeout. Wants to get his troops set up. Coach Dick Hunsaker will take advantage of that timeout, talk to his players as well about what kind of strategy to employ the last 2:05. Alfonso Hubbard Leading scorer tonight for Utah Valley was 17 points, but only 3 of those in the second half. Utah State's shut him down in the second half, to be honest. Meanwhile, it's Marcel Davis who's lighting it up for Utah State. 17 points tonight for the freshman who came in here averaging 5 points a game. I'm just guessing that Marcel Davis is playing in front of a lot of hometown folks, being from American Fort. Sometimes when you play in front of the family, it inspires you. That might be them there, I'm not sure.
Yeah, he's played great. He's come out and had a lot of energy and given the Aggies exactly what they needed. No fouls here for UVU on the defensive end. Play their best defense, get a shot, and you got to have total team rebounding here.
Butterfield. Shaw with the follow. 9-point lead for Utah State with 1:45. Wolverines get it across the stripe. Don't seem to be in a big hurry yet.
Yeah, they've got to pick up the pace here a little bit. I mean, only down 9 points. Forced pass there. Nick Thompson trying to get that ball into Ben Aird. Tough pass trying to get it over Jared Shaw. He's tall and lengthy and has a lot of leaping ability.
Utah State whistle well away from the basketball.
I think they're going to get a moving screen on Jared Shaw.
Shaw's first personal foul. Both teams with 8 fouls apiece here in the second half. 1:18 to play. Utah Valley down by 9 points to Utah State. Holton Hunsaker working hard against Preston Medlin. Over to Hosley. 1 minute left. Wolverines burning a lot of clock. And Jared Shaw going to be called for his second personal.
And it's going to be a 3-point shot, I believe. He's going to get 3 free throws. That was a critical mistake there from Jared Shaw. Nice job of Holton just sensing where Jared had his hands and going up for the shot. Definitely a foul.
Holton Hunsaker 12 points tonight, 2 of 2 from the stripe. Let's not forget, Holton's been out there a long time with 4 personal fouls. Junior for Salt Lake City, Utah, makes the first of 3.
You're likely going to see full court pressure here from UVU off of the free throw. Likely miss or make. They're going to get up and put that full court pressure on, attempt to steal the basketball. I don't know if they're going to be looking to foul this early on, but clearly they'll get pressure up.
67-60. Hunsaker misses the back end of the 3. Clock rolls. 48 seconds. Wolverines down by 7.
And if the ball goes into Kaisine Reed's hands, they might want to foul him. He averages 54 points, but Wolverines possibly a steal out here on the perimeter.
Wolverines come up with the turnover. They don't have a lot of time to work with. Nick Thompson for 3. Tip up, Ben Aird, no good. Rebound by Reed. Utah State with 23 seconds to play. Finally, Antoine Hosley knocks the ball away from Spencer Butterfield, but commits the foul doing so. That'll put Butterfield at the free throw line with 20.7 to play. Wolverines down by 7. Nick Thompson, good look at that 3. Couldn't get it to go.
Yeah, great defense there from, you had Holton Hunsaker out top, and you also had Antoine Hosley. Nice job of getting a steal. They didn't foul. That's exactly what they needed in that instance. Just not able to get the 3-point shot to fall.
Camille Rowland misses the free throw. Wolverines with it. Long 3, Hunsaker. Hey, it's just a 4-point game with 14.3 to play. Holton Hunsaker now 17 points, tying Hubbard for game high points for the Wolverines, but more importantly, they're just down 4.
Yeah, unbelievable play there, unbelievable turn of events. You had Coach Morrill coming out and yelling at Spencer Butterfield for gambling in the backcourt, which gave Holton a nice lane, and it's an easy shot. It looks difficult, so to speak. It's an easy shot when you're able to dribble up, get in your own rhythm, and fall right into a three-point shot. I say it's easy, meaning that that type of a shot, when you gain your rhythm, when you're able to set your feet, it's the easiest shot that there is, and Holton proved that by knocking it down from well beyond the three-point line.
14.3 seconds left to play here at the UCCU Center. Utah Valley was down at halftime by 4. They're still down by 4, but they have trailed in the second half by as many as 12.
Now what they're going to do here, obviously Utah State inbounding the ball, I think they're going to go for the steal as quick as they can, and if they don't have a steal, they're going to immediately foul. Ideally, getting the worst free throw shooter possible the ball and sending them to the free throw line.
Preston Medlin will have the ball in his hands. Wolverines go for the steal, don't come up with it. Finally, they foul Medlin in the backcourt with 9.5 seconds. Taylor Brown went for the steal, could not come up with it for UVU. Preston Medlin, first trip to the charity stripe tonight.
Well, we said it was going to be exciting. That was a loose ball underneath the Wolverines' basket. Alfonso Hubbard had his back turned, unfortunately didn't see the loose ball, but nice job of Utah State getting that ball, getting it into the hands of one of their better free throw shooters, Preston Medlin.
Five-point lead for Utah State, make it 6. 69-63 with 9.5 seconds left.
And this ball likely going to be in the hands of Holton Hunsaker, going to be able to create his own shot.
Puts up the 3, won't go. Utah State with the rebound, and that's going to do it. That's how this one will end here at the UCCU Center. 69-63. Matt, I'm told we'll be joined momentarily by a player from UVU, so we'll need to hand him that extra headset, my friend. Utah State comes away with a 6-point victory. They improved to 6-1 on the season, 2-0 on the road. Meanwhile, Utah Valley falls to 5-7 overall, and their first home loss of the year.
We said it was going to be exciting, and it certainly was. Both teams fought very hard. It was an intense game from start to finish. And unfortunately for the Wolverines, not able to come out with the victory, but congratulations obviously to Utah State. It was an up and down game, as we talked about, teams making runs. I really love the fight of the Wolverines. They never said die at the end of that game when it seemed that they wouldn't be able to come back, but just a great overall effort by both teams.
69-63 the final. Holton Hunsaker 17 points. Alfonso Hubbard 17 points. Hubbard had 14 in the first half, just 3 in the second half. But my goodness, it was Utah State down the stretch, especially with Davis, 17 points. We're joined courtside now by Alfonso Hubbard, one of the 3 seniors on this team. Alphonse, heck of a first half for you, young man. 14 points in that first half, finished with 17. What'd they do in the second half to take it away from you?
They just doubled. You see, most of the time they were doubling me down low, and they were just muscling me down there. But we tried to get Ben touches down the post, but it wasn't happening. So they just played good defense second half.
Did they do anything in this game that you guys were not prepared for? Davis had 17. He was averaging 5. I don't think you guys were looking for Davis, were you?
Nah, we weren't really scouting on Davis. He surprised us tonight. Coach told us he's a good player, but we didn't know. We didn't know he had game, so he came out and did a good job tonight.
All right, Fonz, I know it hurts in a losing cause, but the Sports Information Office here tells me that you've at least been chosen for player of the game tonight. Congratulations on that.
All right, thank you.
17 points for Alfonso Hubbard. Congratulations on the player of the game. Alfonso sees his Wolverines lose this one, 69-63, the final score. All right, Matt, I'm going to let you take over the highlights here. What's going on in front of us on the monitor?
Yeah, we saw a lot of really good play for both teams. Aggressiveness. You see a lot of good passing. I think it was a really clean game. In the second half, there were a lot more fouls that were called, but I think the teams were much more aggressive, and you saw a lot of really good things from both teams. A lot of outside jumpers that were made. But a nice job of the Wolverines fighting back. To me, probably that's the message to take from UVU at the end of the game, fighting back. They had their opportunities. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to capitalize that. It's plays like those when you get Holden Hunsaker diving on the floor and Utah State player Ben Clifford diving on the floor. It's really exciting to see.
You know, Davis from outside was just amazing. 17 points tonight. Only hit 1 3-pointer. He was 6 of 10 shooting, was the young man from American Fork High School. Meanwhile, the Wolverines tried to stay close. They trailed by 12. They cut it to within 5, cut it to within 4. Then Utah State closes it out with a couple of free throws. 69-63 the final score here at the UCCU Center. Heck of a game, though, Matt. Heck of a game.
Yeah, you know, that's why you love seeing sports, because guys come out and compete and they play hard, and unfortunately UVU on the losing end of it tonight. But you know, they'll obviously take a lot away from this, as will the Aggies, but you know, tough ending for UVU, and you can't question their heart, you can't question their fight coming back in. And we see some final stats here. Wolverines finished 21 of 47 from the field, 10 turnovers, 8 of 23 from the three-point line. And once again, we made a point of it the entire game. Great shooting from the Aggies, 29-53. They had 11 turnovers, so low turnovers for both teams. And you know, Aggies really struggled from the three-point line, but they had a lot of positive things inside. They ended up with 38 points in the paint to UVU's 22 points, and USU had a lot of help off of their bench. 17 points from the bench of the Aggies. Wolverines were not able to get any scoring from their bench play, all of it resting on the starters tonight.
Let me give you percentages on these field goals that you see there. Wolverines put up 47 shots and made 21 of them. That's good for 45%. Meanwhile, Utah State, and we talked about in the first half, they shot 60% in the first half. In the second half, wow, they just cooled off to 50% shooting. So that 53 shots put up, and they made 29 of them, that represents 55% shooting.
Yeah.
When you run into a team, Matt, that's shooting 55% for the game, you're in for a long night. I don't care if you're at home or on the road.
Yeah, and you know, I've said it several times. Historically, the Aggies do a great job of shooting the basketball. And the Wolverines tonight, I thought they played great defense in spurts. They just weren't able to put together enough defensive possessions to do it. But you're exactly right. Anytime, whatever level of basketball, if you're playing against a team that's shooting so well, it's so hard to win because they're shooting it so well. I think a big key tonight, too, for the Aggies was the play of Marcel Davis, as you mentioned, 17 points. Wow. You know, it was a little unexpected what he did, and you know, he played great tonight. A lot of good efforts from the Wolverines. Holden Hunsaker and Alfonso, as you mentioned, both with 17 points. Just came up a little short.
Yeah, Jared Shaw came in here averaging 15 a game, and Wolverines hold him to 12.
Yeah.
It was Davis, but heck of a game. Wolverines lose this one, 69-63. This game was produced tonight by students from Utah Valley University's Digital Media Department, produced by Marcus Aido, directed by BJ Dodenbeyer. Tennyson Moss, tonight's technical director. Graphics produced by Tyler Stevens. Broadcast copyrighted and owned exclusively by UVU. Any reproduction, retransmission, or rebroadcast without prior written consent by UVU is expressly prohibited. For Matt Peterson and our entire crew, I'm Jim McCullough saying goodnight from Orem as UVU loses to Utah State. Final score 69-63.